might seem cute, helpless, and charmingly innocent. Or they can look fierce, weird, and downright creepy. In the world of extreme animals, meet the babies. This time on the countdown, we're asking the million-dollar question on every baby's mind. What's for lunch? Bringing up baby is never easy, but it gets much harder when every mealtime's a battle. These kids insist on only the finest, rarest, and most laboriously prepared dishes. So dig into the Extreme Animal Countdown and find out which baby is the fussiest eater of all. It's been a season of lean pickings in northern India. At the edge of the Thar Desert, rain only falls 36 days a year. Even here, a master of survival provides for its fussy offspring. The golden jackal. It might be easy to picture these fluffy puppies snuggled up in your arms. But for a wild jackal mum, giving birth to 5 at a time, they can be a real pawful. Especially when they're hungry and constantly begging for food. Mum's hungry too. Her nourishing milk is running dry. And some kids won't take no for an answer. Mum needs to scavenge for food, but she doesn't have to do it alone. Dad is a keeper, staying with Mum for life and helping to protect their family. And he doesn't take kindly to trespassers. A sloth bear is more than 10 times his size. But even giants can feel a bite to the bum. Watch your back, buddy. If both parents hunt together, it triples their chances of getting food. It's a difficult decision for Mum and Dad to leave the kids home alone while they search for dinner. On an empty stomach, though, the choice is much simpler. While fruit, rodents, and insects are a welcome part of this scavenger's diet, there's nothing like a raw, juicy venison steak. Jackals stand less than half a meter tall, and an angry mother deer could do some serious damage. But it's too late. The jackal finishes off the fawn, and the mother jackal takes off with the spoils. Mum returns with a full belly. At about 8 weeks, the fussy kids will be wanting a more substantial meal than milk. Luckily for them, Mum's already whipped up a delicacy. Good old regurgitated meat. The pups dive eagerly into the pre-digested contents of Mum's stomach like there's nothing wrong with it at all. And in fact, there isn't. This is a successful strategy that's shared with the jackal's closest cousins, the wolves. Swallowing your catch means it's stored in the safety of your belly, away from potential thieves. And because Mum has done the chewing beforehand, all the kids need to do is slurp it up like a protein shake. The golden jackal pups have no problem gulping down the venison now that it's been tenderized. What goes in must come out, and for the babies, back in again. So, for making Mum catch, chew, and deliver her creamy stomach soup, The golden jackal slobs in at number 10 on the Fussy Eaters countdown. The wide-open grasslands of East Africa. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. A natural-born killer chooses his target. And with lightning speed, he strikes. Well, 10 points for trying. This mother of 4 cheetah cubs has her work cut out for her. Unlike golden jackals, cheetah mums raise their young alone, while dad's off philandering. The only thing stopping him from mating with every eligible female is, well, nothing really. No help from the kids either. These fussy babies seem to enjoy a privileged life, lounging in the African day spa, getting a tan, and a bit of a head massage. An average cheetah eats around 3 kilos of food a day. Multiplied by a family of 5, that's a lot of pressure on a single mum. It's time the cubs learn to pull their own weight. The trick is to close the gap with stealth. Mum sneaks within 30 meters of her prey and pulls the trigger. The cheetah is a turbocharged speed machine. 0 to 100 in just 3 seconds. Top speed up to 112 kilometers per hour. With a counterbalancing tail and incredible traction that tears up the ground with each stride, she turns on a dime and hones in on her prey. She's fast, but her stamina will only sustain her for around 20 seconds. The excitement of the chase is all too much, and the gazelle just flips out. While Mum catches her breath after an exhausting sprint, the cubs choose the most convenient moment to help out. But they only have minutes to gorge themselves before company arrives to steal their lunch. Mum nervously looks over her shoulder. She's built for speed, not strength. If there's a scrap over food, she's likely to lose. Right on cue, a challenger. Mum puts on a threatening display. But the hyena just laughs it off. She's not at this party to dance. She's here for the canapes. You know you're the butt of the joke when you're picked on by jackals. Or harassed by vultures. And you definitely want to stay well clear of the baddest of them all. The young students have learned the basic rules of the schoolyard. Now, they put the theory into practice. They can run fast and eat fast, but they're not really the fastest learners. Mum makes it really easy for them. She marks out a Thompson's gazelle fawn, still alive. All the kids need to do is bite down on the throat, but they seem more interested in playing with their food. Suddenly, a hare's rapid motion triggers an irresistible chase reflex. The big cats quickly make a snack of this one. But what about the fawn? The cheetahs never made a killing bite. They seem to have completely forgotten about the free lunch. And the baby gazelle leaps back to life. Well, at least they got something. The meal Mum prepared wasn't good enough for these fussy eaters. But for being bullied out of their lunch, time and time again, cheetah cubs drop out of the countdown. A 36-ton giant leaps right out of the deep end. Humpback whales are far more massive than anything you can find on land. Imagine giving birth to one of these babies. Newborn calves are 4.5 meters long and can weigh about 900 kilos. Yet in the water, all that bulk is gracefully guided like a spaceship in zero gravity, thanks to a powerful tail fluke and the largest flippers on Earth. A male escort accompanies them with his whale song, a mysterious form of communication that can be heard up to 160 kilometers away. And the calf seems to enjoy dancing around the deep blue in a plus-size ballet. A heavyweight prima donna like this one demands only the most exquisite of refreshments. Like all mammals, baby whales depend on mother's milk to grow. Easy enough on land, but underwater, this air-breathing calf is going to have to drink while he's in the drink. And holding his breath is only part of the problem. The calf's inflexible whale lips can't form a tight seal around the milk teats. So Mum helps out by pumping the precious milk into his mouth. If you thought whipped cream was rich, try a humpback thick shake. With a fat content of up to 60%, it's more than 10 times fatter than cow's milk. So it's worth all the extra effort to get it down this budding sumo. And he'll need to grow up fast, because while he's small, he's easy pickings for predators. Like the wolves of the water, the orcas. Humpbacks need to voyage thousands of kilometers from their breeding grounds to their feeding sites. And by the time the babies reach their destination, up to a third of them will be showing off their scars from orca attacks. If they make it at all. This calf has survived the trip to the eatery. Now at around 6 months, he's ready to learn the exotic art of humpback dining. First of all, he'll need to help his family set the table. The whales dive deep under a school of herring. Then they breathe out as they spiral to the surface, producing a cylindrical fishnet of air bubbles that draws the herring into a concentrated bait ball at its center. And as they reach the pinnacle of their three-dimensional trap, they open wide, and dinner is served. Each whale can eat over 1,000 kilos of food a day, so it pays to make every gulp count. For starting life on one of the richest of beverages and graduating to fussy dinner parties, humpback whales breach their way to number 9. The babies are about to dive deeper into nature's food fight. And some of their bizarre habits will be hard to swallow. So far in the countdown of fussy eaters, we've had golden jackals throwing up at the sight of their young at number 10, and a whale of a baby on a high-fat diet at number 9. The next fussy babies acquire a disturbing new taste. Off the coast of South Africa, is Dasson Island, home to a colony of great white pelicans. The chicks start off with a coat of black down, but in a few weeks, they'll look more like their parents in full flight feathers. As far as fussy eating goes, pelicans have their particular rituals. Like humpback whales, they work together in formation to herd freshwater fish into the shallows, before scooping the big ones up with their incredible bills and swallowing them whole. The preparation pays off. Pelicans usually finish the day's eating before most of us have had our morning coffee. But the once bountiful fish stocks around Dasson Island have moved away, and everyone's had to tighten their belts. The parents are back from their fishing trip. No time to even hang up their coats before the chicks dive headfirst into their gullets, hoping for a nice regurgitated breakfast. Dig as deep as you want, son. There's not much in there. When the fussy kids are jumping down your throat, begging for their favorite fish meat, it's time for desperate measures. Less than 45 kilometers away, another colony of birds, the Cape gannets, also need to provide for their babies. Massive schools of sardine are perfect targets for an elite dive bomber. They impact the water at over 100 kilometers an hour, diving down to 13 meters below. A daring maneuver that would kill other animals. But gannets come equipped with airbags in their face and chest, as well as closable nostrils on the inside of their bills to stop seawater flooding in. While the adults are out fishing, the hungry Cape gannet babies wait at home for dinner. In hard times, pairs of parents leave their chicks unattended as they both must head out to forage, making it easy for the pelicans to infiltrate their nest unchallenged and steal their babies. Pelicans can swallow chicks weighing almost 2 kilos. They're the unlucky ones, whose parents aren't there to defend them. Abducted babies, lost without a trace. As for the young pelicans, Mum and Dad didn't get them the fish they wanted. But this meaty delicacy, it's not bad at all. Just don't ask too many questions about where it came from. So, for sending their parents to their neighbors to feed their new fussy tastes, great white pelican chicks gulp down at number 8. In Japan's subalpine forests, temperatures fall as low as -20 degrees centigrade. This is the home of the northernmost non-human primates in the world. Japanese macaques, or snow monkeys. Wearing a thick fur coat takes the bite off the freezing cold, and even the babies aren't too bothered. Especially when the snow provides an endless source of entertainment. Rolling snowballs seems to have no survival purpose. But it's pretty fun watching things go downhill. That's not the baby's fault. And there's the hot springs at Jigokudani, or Hell Valley. With a place like this, even if the valley freezes over, they've got a slice of heaven. All that's missing is a personal masseuse. No, wait, they've got that too. Back in the 1960s, a young female monkey accidentally took a bath and liked it. Her knowledge was passed down through the generations, and now, like all tourist hotspots, it gets pretty crowded in peak season. Here, they picked up their ancestors' fussy lifestyle habits. But it's not just about the best bathing spots. Macaques learn all kinds of new behavior from others in their group. And it's often the hip young ones who set the fashion. Especially when lunch is involved. These progressive monkeys brave the crashing tide to chase the latest food craze. Seaweed. 13 different varieties, providing a rich, alternative source of nutrients when their usual feeding grounds dry up. Further south, on Koshima Island, the monkeys have inherited an even more discerning taste. In the 1950s, an 18-month-old Japanese macaque baby started a new trend. Rinsing sweet potatoes in the sea. Presumably, a bit of salt makes the food taste better, and so the culinary art of seasoning was discovered. Many monkey lifetimes later, the macaque's legacy lives on. It only takes a single innovative baby to start a fad, and today they just can't get enough of ready salted wheat. It sure tastes good. Soaking it up in their winter resort and salting their potatoes like French fries. Yep, that's fussy. Trend-setting Japanese macaque babies make a splash at number 7. Seasoning food isn't exactly worthy of a chef's hat, but wait till you see the fussy recipes coming up as we get closer to revealing number 1. It doesn't seem like a good idea to be a fussy eater when food is few and far between. Like here, in Africa's Kalahari Desert. Yet, for a species of mongoose, fussing over meals has its benefits. Meerkats work together in a tight-knit social hierarchy to raise their young, find lunch, and keep their ears warm. And from about a month old, juniors tag along on foraging missions. It's been easy so far. Whining when they're hungry usually results in prompt delivery. But as they get older, their begging calls change, and adults don't respond quite so readily. Puberty's not very attractive for meerkats either, apparently. The babies are enrolling at cooking school, where they'll learn the ins and outs of fussy food preparation. Step 1. Stand to attention. Some are already finding this difficult. Not a good sign. Step 2. Dig. Well, step 2. Focus. Good. Now dig. Every chef worth their salt starts by searching for the finest ingredients, even if it's hiding deep underground. A meerkat can excavate 50 times its body weight in sand in just half a day. Even the babies can send dirt flying. Just make sure to face the right way. Luckily, meerkats have special membranes to protect their eyes, and ears that can close up at will. This pup has found a succulent scorpion. Now for the next big lesson of a fussy cook. Food safety. Scorpion stings are packed full of neurotoxins to paralyze and kill prey. And although meerkats have some natural immunity to the venom, it's no fun catching a stinger in the eye. Dancing around isn't going to solve that problem. But amputating the nasty parts first makes it a much safer meal. Another delicacy is a protein-rich millipede. But eating it raw might result in much worse than an upset stomach. Millipedes cover themselves in rancid poison to deter predators. So the pup learns to prepare his leggy bite by scrubbing it across the ground and cleaning off that nasty sauce. The end result is so tasty that the teacher eats it all herself, leaving nothing for the pup. As dusk approaches, the hungry baby has one last chance at a carefully prepared meal. His auntie's millipede. Bad life decisions are made on an empty stomach. And when school's not doing it for you, it's easy to turn delinquent. Stealing from a pregnant lady? Now that's low. Digging deep for their prime ingredients and fussing over food safety puts the mini meerkat at number 6 on the Fussy Eaters countdown. In a small burrow underground, a clutch of chameleon eggs have been incubating unattended for about 3 months. Now, a new family of fussy eaters are about to open their eyes. One thing about being born from a cold-blooded mother, she won't be there to see your first baby steps. Like most lizards, chameleons take a hands-off approach to parenting, preferring to hide their eggs rather than guard them. So after digging a hole and dropping her load, Mum wishes her offspring the best of luck. Hopefully, better luck than her. Some chameleon mothers don't even bother making a home. This bizarre species gives birth to live young. Ready to see the world, boys and girls? Away you go. But it's not just their own offspring that they keep at arm's length. These fussy eaters won't even get close to their food. Not that they're bad at eating. Moments after hatching, they're already dressed for the hunt. Baby chameleons are born with all the skills and instincts they need to survive. It's every lizard for themselves. United, they fall. Move over, buddy. Newborn killing machine coming through. This baby's exceptional eyes can swivel independently, scanning almost 360 degrees around him. He locks on a target, readies his tongue like a spring-loaded gun, and earns his predator stripes at the age of 0. Chameleon tongues can launch with an acceleration of over 41 Gs, snatching bugs more than 2.5 body lengths away. The end of their tongues act like suction cups, and supercontracting muscles exert enough force to pull in the weight of small birds. The problem with having such a specialized weapon is that these fussy lizards outright refuse to catch prey less than 1/3 of a body length away. Yuck. You're in his personal space. Staying well clear of perfectly good food is a telltale sign of a fussy eater. But the chameleon's firm grasp of advanced oral weaponry disqualifies them from this extreme baby countdown. From here on, the babies are getting bigger, brighter, and bloodier to earn their place on the top 5. We're counting down the fussiest eaters in the world of extreme animal babies. From kids on the losing end of lunchtime tussles to mammoth mammals swallowing up the sea. and outright carnivory from the most unexpected of places. Towering termite mounds punctuate the grasslands of Brazil's Cerrado, where swarms of winged termites take flight to breed with males and females from other mounds. But hiding in the midst of this breeding orgy are fussy eaters who've been saving space all year for one extravagant binge. And once the sun goes down, it's their time to shine. Christmas has come early for the larvae of the headlight beetle. Some have been squatting safely within the termite's home for 3 years. A spot their parents chose specifically for the quality dining. And now, for only a couple of weeks in the year, they creep out of their burrows and flick on the fairy lights. The dazzling green bioluminescence is produced by chemical reactions behind the larva's head. For a termite, this light signals all go. The babies glow brighter when disturbed, so the closer the termites get, the more enticing the light. And once it's in range, the larva snatches with well-developed mandibles and drags the termite to its doom. Then it's back for more. The baby headlight beetle will need all the protein it can get to metamorphose into its adult form. And it could be the only time this fussy eater lights up to hunt all year. Good thing the termites have put on a feast to break the fast. So, for being very picky with their dinner timing, the headlight beetle gets a glowing 5 on the fussy eater's countdown. The next babies live a sophisticated lifestyle off the Californian coast, clinging onto each other for dear life, or just enjoying an afternoon bath, are a raft of sea otters. These weaselly floaters can spend their entire lives without touching land, eating, sleeping, and even giving birth in the water. But this mother in Monterey Bay has chosen to raise her pup in a more affluent neighborhood. She'll do anything for her little princess, such as taking her out on a luxury cruise. Sea otters have the densest fur coat of any animal in the world. With 400,000 hairs per square centimeter, it traps bubbles of air like a woolly sweater crossed with a life jacket, making them as buoyant as a sunbather on a pool bed. They also have the fastest metabolism of any marine mammal, eating almost a third of their body weight each day. But it's not just about dining at the finest seafood buffet. Mother has to teach this youngster how to satisfy her voracious appetite with the proper flair and etiquette. You certainly don't do anything as barbaric as opening spiky sea urchins with your bare fingers. Always use the right cutlery, in this case, a rock. Rocks can also be balanced on one's belly and used as anvils. This is the correct way to crack open crabs and shellfish. But there is no respectable way to eat a cola can. Seriously, stop. Mother has discovered that metal is a more upmarket anvil, at the cost of thousands of dollars to the boat owners. Not her problem. Her priority is to train her daughter into a well-bred fussy eater. Wood, not so great. Tires, this might take some time. Ah, finally, the satisfying ring of steel. But beware, The males of the species are no gentlemen. This otter will try to separate mother from baby, forcing her to come into season and conceive his own offspring. And when it comes to mating, female otters full of scars can consider themselves lucky to live. The pup returns from hiding, but her mother is nowhere to be found. All alone, at only 4 months old, she's fighting against the odds to survive. Lucky for this baby, she was paying attention in her mother's finishing school. She's even invented a new, clever take on bottle feeding. This young lady has earned her place in an exclusive club, one of very few species of mammals known to use tools. Mother might still be out there somewhere, but even if they never meet again, the intimate bond they shared has already won this girl her independence. For mastering the aristocratic touch of dining utensils, Sea Otter Pup floats up to 4th place on the countdown of fussy eaters. It's all carnage from here, as these classy babies take a bite out of each other. Beneath the surface of Africa's Great Lakes are another bunch of extreme babies. And they're a real mouthful. What looks like an accident with the old vacuum cleaner is actually a mother cichlid's clever way of keeping the kids safe, known as mouth brooding. This family has to share the crowded hood with about 1,000 other species of cichlids. All evolved to one-up each other in radically different ways. There's the algae combers and choppers, the plankton pluckers, the sand sifters, and the more devious ones pretending to be sand sifters. Some like to hide in the sand. Others hide in plain sight, going straight for the Oscars with their dramatic death scenes. When everyone's trying to get at your babies, it pays to put your money where your mouth is. Just remember to suppress that gag reflex. It seems foolproof, but you'd be a fool to rest easy in this swirling arena of subterfuge. Because the most cunning of them all aren't cichlids. Waiting in the wings, twitching their whiskers, are catfish and their ruthless fry. A horace cichlid is about to be a mother. She lays the eggs, waits for her mate to fertilize them, and then scoops them into her mouth. But somehow, the whiskered villains have managed to mix in their eggs with the cichlids, without the mother noticing. The strange yellow eggs belonging to the catfish have been incubating as long as the pink cichlid eggs. But because the catfish eggs are smaller, they hatch earlier. The parasites quickly absorb their own yolks. Once that's gone, they turn on their roommates. And for their first dining experience, these fussy eaters go straight for the most expensive item on the menu, cichlid caviar. Mum's getting ready for the big day. There's a lot of commotion in her mouth. It must be time to open the gates to a bright new world. But what comes out of her mouth isn't her own cichlid babies. It's the treacherous catfish fry. They've eaten away the competition before the cichlids even had a chance to meet their mother. An ingenious plan that gives the tiny catfish a head start in this intense evolutionary arms race. they might never taste anything quite like their first hors d'oeuvre. So the caviar gobbling catfish munch their way to fussy eater number 3. Beautiful New Zealand, with epic vistas in every direction. Of all the places you could make a nest, these birds of prey chose a stinky marsh. The daddy swamp harrier hovers over his mate and 3 newly hatched chicks. It's a family worthy of a white picket fence. Swamp harriers mate for life. Daddy goes to work while Mummy stays home to feed the fussy kids. A lovely family scene until recession strikes. And Daddy can't find enough meat for a family of 5, which means the youngest chick won't be having dinner ever again. Mum knows the best way to deal with her tragic loss is to feed it to her chicks. Why waste when you can recycle? Now, only 2 babies share the slim pickings. A month later, the starving sisters turn on each other. This is no ordinary sibling rivalry. It's a fight to the death over food. Dad stops home with a paycheck, dramatically passing it to Mum through the air. But it's not enough for both girls. There are new rules in this family. The strongest girl eats first. Then the weaker one gets her share. And that's nothing. Come fledging time, there's only 1 baby left. Whether it was starvation or murder is of no concern to the mother. The survival of 1 chick is better than none. Now, for the last time in her life, the surviving chick savors the exceptional taste of sister steak. It's not often you get to eat such a special meal. So for snacking on siblings, swamp harrier chicks are fussy eater number 2. Only 1 extreme animal baby remains to take the crown on the fussy eaters countdown. It's been a gut-chilling battle royale, counting down the most fussy-eating habits of animal babies. At number 10, golden jackal pups and their second-hand meal. Weighing in at number 9, the humpback whale. Baby number 8 is the pelican chick with a changing diet. In 7th place, the Japanese macaques sure love their sea salt. 6th place goes to baby meerkats at cooking school. Positively glowing at number 5 are headlight beetle larvae. Number 4 sees the graceful debut of a baby sea otter. In 3rd place, catfish fry gorge themselves on caviar. And the runner-up, a baby swamp harrier goes Pac-Man on her sisters. There can only be 1 champion, and everybody knows to make way for the king. Not these pussycats, the real king of the jungle, the elephant. Tipping the scales at up to 8 tons, the largest land animal on Earth. And though they're herbivores, fully grown elephants are no pushovers. Their babies, well, they've got room for improvement. For starters, eating is usually a fussy challenge. Especially with the complicated thing stuck to the front of his face. Elephant trunks have nearly 150,000 muscle units. Humans only have 700 or so muscles in their whole body, so grabbing a bite to eat is going to take a lot of intricate brain power. Shush you! The big guys have already mastered the art of twirling up grass like spaghetti on a fork and picking at the roots of lakeshore plants. The fussier ones make sure to wash their veggies. This all comes with practice, and the little guy's only just started stretching his leg muscles. Mum encourages him to take a cooling dip, although she might have thrown him in the deep end. Babies quickly learn to use their trunks as snorkels while swimming or drinking, or while their annoying cousins drown them as a joke. But once the baby gets a handle on his trunk, he'll also get fussier. Freshly picked grass just won't cut it for his first solid meal. No, the best stuff comes out the other end. An adult elephant eats about 100 kilos of food a day, sometimes double that when they're especially hungry, which also means a lot of dung. It's not just nutrition for the dung beetles. Move over, golden jackals, because what's fussier than having mum chew your food? Having her poop it out. The baby elephant digs into a fresh batch of feces. And it's not just any old dung. This is mummy's poop, a starter package full of her essential gut bacteria, which the baby will need to digest grass. Because elephant guts are inefficient, 2/3 of the food passes through intact. So dung is just leftovers. Waste not, want not. So, when you're following mum and she drops something, it's only right to pick it up. For accepting no less than mama's dung as the first solid appetizer of his life, the elephant calf stomps down as the #1 fussiest eater in this countdown of extreme animal babies. A lone elephant calf has attracted a 14-lion carnival to his rear end. And it's definitely not dung they're after. They're serving up elephant for tonight's main course. But this big kid won't take it lying down. If the lions want a piece of him, he's going to deliver it right to them. An elephant roundhouse to the ribs quickly changes the lion's mind. And the hot-headed calf makes a miraculous escape across the river.